So right now, commentators are egging each other because PlayStation's going third party. It's the death of PlayStation. Wow, whoop-de-doo. PlayStation's figuring out what Xbox already knew, and Xbox, if they didn't figure it out, would have been forced to figure it out because the console war, like we said last time, was pretty darn stupid. Well, let's talk about a little something, because every so often, older, more mature folks like myself have to be the voice of reason when all these talking heads on YouTube are just egging each other and blah, 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 you know, the usual internet stuff. So here's the thing. We have Xbox transitioning from the console, the underdog console historically, to essentially green Steam. You have PlayStation figuring out why Xbox is doing it and now starting to do a little of it themselves. And then you have Steam going in the opposite direction. They were originally software only, a digital distribution platform for PC games. Nowadays, they have hardware. They've succeeded finally at some kind of hardware with the Steam Deck, and of course all those pieces of all those handhelds now that are inspired by it. But I'm going to take a look into the things that Steam Deck gamers are talking about at some point later on. For now, it will suffice to say that Valve succeeding at hardware gives PC gaming something that consoles have had forever, and that PC gaming has been sorely lacking: a baseline for how the games, for what exactly you want to develop for. People can scale up settings and graphics and use mods and stuff, but PC gaming traditionally has lacked that base hardware spec that everybody can develop for and give people the experience the developers intended. Instead, it's just a giant throwing darts at a dartboard thing with all the hardware that's out there. I'd like for there to be, this is what you make the game for, and if people can make it better, cool. But by and large, make things for the baseline, which is something that PC gaming has never really been able to hammer out very well because of all the hardware floating around. More standardized hardware, though, is something that would definitely benefit PC gaming in the long run. But this is the thing, though. You notice how all these companies are turning into, that were known for one thing, are now known for something else, and they're kind of turning into almost the same company. They're a platform and a distribution platform and a publisher, but they have some hardware in case you want to buy it. Xbox is like that, PlayStation is like that, and now through Steam, PC is going to get like that. Folks, this is the kind of change or die thing that we see in American capitalism, in markets, in buying and selling things, and trying to meet what customers want. So there's nothing all that unusual going on. Yeah, sure, PlayStation's different, Xbox is different, but PC gaming's different too. 20 years ago, PC gaming was a lot more proprietary. It had all its own peripherals, and heck, there are even snarky remarks in the games once upon a time that you wouldn't find in console games. So once upon a time, PC was a lot more separated from what people got to experience with their PlayStations and Xboxes, but things have been moving together, particularly on the Xbox side, jumping into PC gaming's back pocket with the whole Xbox Play Anywhere, formal Bluetooth support for the Xbox One and now Xbox Series controllers. So now finally, PC gamers can share controllers with their console counterparts, and no more like tacky controllers for PC that I so vividly remember from my earlier days as a PC gamer trying to wing it without having to buy a PlayStation. Oh, man, that's another discussion entirely. But when you stop and think about it, folks, nothing in gaming is the way it was. Xbox has changed. PlayStation has changed. PC gaming has been changing. Heck, next up, mobile. Then again, if you want to play your mobile games, or even Google was playing with Google Play Games earlier. But BlueStacks, if you fool around with BlueStacks, you'll know they have the Android emulator, but they also have the way to launch games similar to like if it was Steam or something. Now, if only mobile game developers could stop making shovelware that is loaded with gimmicks and dumbass microtransactions. Mobile is the sleeper platform right now, but mobile with tablets, smartphones, Android TVs, etc., is definitely something that, if we actually used it properly, could challenge the consoles. And that was actually the view that some executives had back when the PS4 and the Xbox One were coming out. They were like, well, the consoles, we need to figure out what their niche is, because otherwise the mobile devices are going to catch up to them and run them over. Nintendo did that with the Switch, actually. They essentially made a mobile device that could plug into your TV and double as a home console. But as the hardware and the technology gets better, the devices that out-switch the Switch are just going to take that idea to whole new heights. Imagine a future generation Steam Deck or Lenovo Legion Go that can serve as like a 1080-60 gaming PC running your games on high settings instead of you having to build a custom rig every time. Really, it's wild to think. I'm middle-aged now, and I'm amazed at what has happened since my younger days when I didn't have this gray hair. Imagine when I'm getting ready to retire. Really get you thinking, and it makes you feel old, but such is life. So yeah, I mean, look, the everything in gaming, it has changed, and it's going to keep changing because that's the nature of the beast. Don't go crying about Xbox being different. Don't go crying about PlayStation being different, because even with us PC gamers, things are very different than they were 20 years ago. I like what we have nowadays. The 2000s crap, like the very, very, very invasive DRM games for Windows Live, horribly bad PC gaming controllers that we used because the console controllers were never compatible with PC, until the Xbox 360 controller bridged that gap with its USB thing. Oh, man. I don't miss those days, but it's just... I think the companies are doing the right thing, though, by changing into essentially clones of Steam, because that's basically the new standard for how these large gaming companies are going to need to operate. It's competition, at least, but bottom line is there's this unwritten rule in capitalism: if not you, then who? You don't want to end up as the next Blockbuster Video. So there are times when you are forced to make changes because you don't want your competitors to benefit from the changes and you don't. So you don't want to get dinosaured by your competition and have them take all your customers and send you into the history books. So some of the changes that are going on right now with the stuff that's similar to Game Pass, the stuff that's similar to Xbox, blah, 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 the multi-platform stuff, it doesn't bother me one bit, because you have a lot of hardware to choose from when it comes to gaming, and the choices are only going to get more and more varied, especially when cloud gets involved. I mean, fiber internet is giving residential broadband customers like myself synchronous internet and better latency. So it's going to be very interesting to see how well cloud gaming can get. My prediction is that Google Stadia turns out to have been way ahead of its time, and if they had waited another 10 years, maybe they would have been more successful. But cloud, especially as a package for something like Xbox or PlayStation service, or even Steam at some point later on, I think at some point it's going to start making sense when it's not like 30 frames per second. So it's really interesting to see where everything's going, but I can tell you this: nothing in gaming is the way that it was. Stop pretending that this is just an Xbox problem and or just a PlayStation problem. It's not really a problem at all. It's just the natural evolution of things. Wherever you get your games from, cool, play them, enjoy them. That's what it's all about. Save the internet fights for something that actually matters. Or better yet, you know what? Let's just skip the internet fights and play some darn games. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.
Let's just relax and play some games.